You're tired, you're underpaid, and you've been told it's because you haven't worked hard enough or you haven't found your true calling. You've been chasing a certain kind of success, a certain kind of fulfillment, following the advice that everyone from your college professor to that smug venture capitalist on Twitter swears by. But what if the single greatest obstacle between you and true financial freedom isn't your effort or your luck, but the advice itself? What if the golden rules of career building are actually toxic, algorithmic lies designed to keep you precisely where you are, stuck in the miserable middle management grind? For years, you've been listening to the noise. Today, we turn it off and expose the 3 most destructive myths in modern career culture. These are not just bad suggestions, they are the 3 deadliest pieces of career advice you should never follow. This video is compiled from various sources and analyzes widely recognized psychological concepts. If you have additional information, data, or personal insights to share, please leave a comment below. The deadliest lie, number 1, follow your passion. The first lie is the one that tastes the sweetest and is the hardest to spit out. Follow your passion and you'll never work a day in your life. This is the corporate equivalent of a fairy tale. It's what you tell high schoolers who haven't yet seen a utility bill. The truth is, following your passion is the surest way to ruin your passion. Here is the mechanism. When you take the thing you love, be it writing, baking, gaming, or painting, and you inject it with the deadly poison of monetary necessity, you fundamentally change its relationship with your brain. Psychologically, this is called the overjustification effect. Your brain loves doing things for the intrinsic reward, the joy of creation, the flow state. But the moment you introduce a massive extrinsic reward, money, deadlines, client feedback, your intrinsic motivation rapidly deteriorates. The activity ceases to be a source of joy and becomes a source of high-stakes stress. Think of the most dedicated artists, the most obsessive hobbyists. They do it because they can't not do it. It is their escape. The person who advises you to quit your stable job to become a full-time professional basket weaver is not your mentor. They are an economic terrorist. They are setting you up for the passion-productivity paradox. The moment your livelihood depends on your creative output, the pressure paralyzes the creativity. When the market rejects your product, it feels like the market is rejecting you, your identity, your very soul. That pain is exponentially worse than just having a bad day at a job you only tolerate. The modern capitalist system loves this advice because it turns you into a highly motivated, self-exploiting worker who will accept a lower salary for the privilege of doing what you love. They pay you in fulfillment while they deposit cold, hard cash. The real counter strategy? Separate your identity from your income. Focus on developing competence in a skill that is scalable, repeatable, and, most importantly, marketable. Let your job be the highly efficient, emotional, neutral machine that generates resources. Then, take those resources, your time, your money, your reduced stress, and funnel them directly into your passion. Your job is the engine, your passion is the destination. You don't try to build a life where the engine is the destination. That's just exhaustion. The deadliest lie, number 2, never give up. The second great lie is the foundational text of toxic grind culture. A quitter never wins. If I had $1 for every time this platitude destroyed a perfectly intelligent career, I could probably retire. This advice is nothing more than a moral justification for the sunk cost fallacy, but applied to your finite, irreplaceable resource, time. The sunk cost fallacy is the psychological tendency to continue with an endeavor because of previously invested resources, even when future costs outweigh the expected benefit. You stay in the dead-end job because you've already spent 6 years there. You think, I've endured so much, I can't leave now, I have to see it through. The market, however, does not reward endurance. It rewards optimal allocation of resources. Your 6 years of misery is not an asset on your resume, it is a weight slowing you down. Every minute you spend in a place with no growth, no respect, and no future is generating an opportunity cost, the loss of the gain that could have been made from choosing the next best alternative.
While you are stubbornly clinging to a sinking ship, the boats to better jobs, better skills, and better compensation are sailing right past you. Quitting is not failure. Quitting is a highly evolved strategic assessment. It's the ability to look at an equation, see that it doesn't balance, and have the courage to wipe the slate clean. The people who are truly successful quit all the time. They quit projects. They quit toxic relationships. They quit unprofitable markets. They just don't call it quitting. They call it pivoting, reprioritizing, or failing fast. It's all the same thing. Decisively ending an investment that yields a negative ROI. The Great Resignation wasn't a moment of mass weakness, it was a mass strategic awakening. Millions of people suddenly understood that their loyalty was a non-reciprocal arrangement. If your employer treats you like an easily replaceable gear in a giant machine, the most powerful thing you can do is to remind them that the machine stops when the gear breaks, or in this case, when the gear walks away to a better machine. The real counter-strategy. Adopt a strategy of retreat mentality. Set clear, objective metrics for your investment. If you are not learning, not growing, and not being compensated fairly after 18 months, your choice is not stay or quit, but optimize or retreat. Be objective, be ruthless, and remember, the only thing worse than spending 5 years on a bad path is spending 10. Open loop. But here's the thing about quitting. It almost always leads you to the next mistake, the one that guarantees you'll always be playing financial catch-up. The deadliest line number 3, experience over salary. The third and most financially crippling lie is the sweet talk of lowball offers. Don't worry about the money early on. Focus on the experience. This is not advice. It is a negotiation tactic used by the hiring party. It's the corporate version of, I don't have enough money, but I promise the exposure will be great. And for many ambitious young professionals, it works like a charm. They accept an artificially deflated starting salary, believing they are gaining invaluable experience that will pay off later. This is where the financial damage becomes structural, thanks to the anchoring bias. When a hiring manager sees your salary history, they don't look at the market rate, they look at your anchor. If you started at $45,000, your next company will likely offer $50,000 or $55,000. They are anchoring their offer to your low precedent, not the industry standard of $70,000. You are now permanently handicapped.
If you accept $45K when you should have demanded $70K, and you stay there for 5 years with standard 3% raises, you've lost hundreds of thousands of dollars in lifetime earnings. You don't just lose the $25K difference in year 1, you lose the 3% compound interest on that $25K every single year for the rest of your career. This isn't small money, this is a multi-decade financial penalty for believing a motivational poster. Furthermore, experience is simply a collection of transferable skills. You can get that at any job, often at the job that pays you fairly. The only unique experience you get from a low-paying job at a prestigious firm is the experience of being financially exploited. They are paying you in status, which is worthless when the rent is due. True experience is not about the company's name, it's about the scope of your responsibilities, the quality of the outcomes, and how much better you make the business. And guess what? Businesses pay a premium for high value. If they're not paying you a premium, they don't perceive your value as high, no matter what they tell you in the exit interview. The real counter strategy, demand your worth. Full stop. Your salary negotiation is not a casual discussion. It is the first, most critical transaction in your professional life. View the experience argument as a red flag. If the company is genuinely prestigious and successful, they have the budget to pay market rate. If they don't, the prestige is a fragile facade. The people who win this game are the ones who treat their skills like a high-demand commodity, not a favor. The grand conclusion. The system doesn't want you to be strategically aware. It wants you emotionally invested in the pursuit of passion and blindly loyal to the concept of perseverance because it keeps you compliant and cheap. The most successful people in the world didn't follow these 3 pieces of advice. They inverted them. They followed value and competence, not passion, and used the resulting profit to buy their freedom.
They quit strategically and often, refusing to let past mistakes dictate their future trajectory. They demanded a premium salary from day one, understanding that money is the objective score of their value, and they refused to negotiate against their own worth. Your career is not a love story. It is an economic engine. It's time to stop treating it like a spiritual quest and start treating it like a finely tuned financial machine. The moment you do, the dynamics shift. The anxiety fades. The rewards begin to compound. The question isn't whether you're working hard enough. The real question, the one that should keep you up tonight, is this. Which of these three toxic lies is currently robbing you of your time, your money, and your potential, and what are you going to quit first? Let me know in the comments below, and if you're ready to finally build a career on strategy, not sentiment, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because the next video breaks down the one single rule that separates the six-figure earners from the 9-to-5ers. Don't miss it.